Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, brothers and sisters. JD Nye's your word of truth. Oh boy, long day. Lots of studying today. So I have something interesting. Slovakia. So I found out how long these wicked black Hebrew Israelites. I found the place where they started calling by the wrong name. It was let me see. Cain and Abel. I thought it was right here. Yeah. Slovakia, that took me a minute. I'm a little worn out, but Slovakia. Heavenly Father, bless the message, bless the ears that hear it. So I was listening to Chuck Missler, and he pointed something out to me that I knew, but I didn't know how it's kind of hidden the way it's put in here. There was a son of Seth named Enosh. He was the wicked other half of Enoch. Enoch was a good man, righteous man. But this Enosh, this son of Seth, through Adam and Eve came Seth, and then came Enosh. And Enosh means wicked dude. What else did it say about him? His name means weak. Weak like GMS, weak. So this weak son came out from Seth, who was of the godly line. A little overplayed, Seth. But anyhow, what I wanted to point out was in Genesis, this is when those wicked, weak GMS Negroes, this is when they started thinking that they could call the Lord by a surname. And you find it in Genesis 4:25, the birth of Seth. Let me read it real quick and then I'll explain. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and called his name Seth. For God, she said, had appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So Seth was the replacement for Abel. Verse 26, Genesis, all the way back to the beginning. This is how far back these wicked black Hebrew Israelites and their Phoenician devil language goes back. Verse 26, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enosh. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. What this doesn't explain, and this has always been one of those, it's one of those phrases that's misunderstood, because the word then began is then they were profaning, they were wounding, they were making play, making fun. They were coming up with their own theme. This is where this vain imagination, this idolatry of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, suck some cocks, began. Come Yasharallah all over your brother's face. These wicked anti-women, anti-white man, anti-God pretenders. So it should read, then men began to profane and name the Lord their God. They were coming up with their own name. When Seth came, they were like, okay, there's some power here. But then when Enosh came, they went, what is this? He was a wicked dude. And behind that wicked dude came this wicked imagination, this play name, this fake name, this Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai nonsense, all the way back then. And now these guys have it in their mouth again. You can study it yourself. And he called his name Enosh. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. The name of the Lord, those words are correct. They started to call Yahweh by another name, by a profane name, is what it should read. And they began to call Yahweh by their own wicked name, by their own made-up surname. And his name was Enosh. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. It doesn't mean call upon Yahweh. It means they gave Yahweh their own profane name, their own idolatrous name. That's what's being said here. And so there's different commentaries. Some people believe that they actually were calling on the name of Yahweh, but they called him Jehovah. But the reason it seems to be in the negative is that being it happened right after Enosh was born. If you look into it, if you study it, Enosh was wicked. Enosh was a wound. Enosh was weak. And that's where we get this weak name that these black Hebrew Ignorants came up with. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, come suck a cock, or whatever they call it. Come on Yasharallah, come on your brother's face. Because you might as well, because all you're doing is jacking yourself. All you're doing is jacking yourself if you're listening to these black Hebrew Ignorants. So I just wanted to bring that to you. This is at the very beginning. So this wicked Phoenician language these guys have been speaking, this goes back all the way back. So we know we're fighting against these principalities, these powers of dark, weak, wicked men. So stay strong and be careful what you're listening to, because these guys are set on dragging you into the pit with them. JD Nigel, Word of Truth. Have a good evening. I'll see you in the morning. I'm out.